Hey fellow pet lovers, welcome back to my channel. This is actually my first video, so welcome. This is going to be where I give tips and tricks, advice, my feelings, thoughts, anything dog training related. This is going to be the place to come. So make sure you follow, like, subscribe. Today we're going to be tackling a topic that is going to cover a range of things. It's going to be the top 5 training mistakes that people make whenever they're training their dogs. And the things that you need to avoid, basically. Very common mistakes. So yeah, these tips will help make sure that your dog grows into a very well-behaved dog and has good manners. So let's jump right in. So the first thing that I want to talk about is negative name use. It's just making sure that you don't use your dog's name with a negative context. So for example, no Fluffy, no, and then saying their name right after it could be confusing to your puppy. You always want their name to be associated with positivity. It's just gonna help in general, all around. So try to avoid doing no and then using their name after that. And then the second thing that I want to talk about is rewarding negative behavior. It happens a lot more than you think it would. It happens a lot. It's very easy to accidentally do as well. Negative attention is better than no attention to a dog. So it reinforces behaviors that we're trying to avoid. So if you're having a problem behavior, maybe look at the way that you're rewarding, even if you don't realize that you're rewarding. For example, like a dog barking. Well, by you giving it attention to the barking, sometimes that's just as good to a dog because they're getting the attention that they want. So make sure that you're not rewarding bad behaviors and really check yourself on that. And the third thing that I want to talk about is not proofing behavior. As a trainer, when we're starting training a new behavior that we want, we always want to do it in an environment that's distraction free because it makes it easier to get started doing that behavior. But as you continue learning that behavior, you want to make sure that you proof it into other environments because you're going to be using this in real world. So making sure that you're still doing these training and we'll call it proofing, where you're slowly training this new behavior in other environments rather than in a distraction-free home where you have a controlled environment. You also want to train these behaviors in other environments, well, in the real world where it'll be used as well. It needs to happen everywhere. You need to train everywhere. Fourth mistake is going to be bribing instead of training. If treats are visible before the command is executed, you might actually be bribing your pup to do the good behavior that you want. So you don't want the treats to be visible. That's why trainers, dog trainers usually have dog training vests that have a bunch of different pockets, because you don't really want the dog to know where the treats are coming from. So yeah, make sure you're not bribing the dog into doing what you want, because it just doesn't work well in the long run. It might work now, but later down the road, sometimes you're not going to always have a treat in your hand. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is rushing complex commands. Just making sure that you're not moving too quickly on complex commands. Make sure that you're mastering the basic commands before moving on to the next big trick. So your basic commands: sit, down, touch, just the basics. Come, your recall. You really want to get those down before anything else. Just remember that training your puppy can be an incredibly rewarding experience if done right. Avoiding these common mistakes will set you and your friend up for success. If you're hitting roadblocks, just seek out help. Just ask somebody. I'm always here. I love questions. Please reach out, ask your questions. Just remember, it's patience, consistency, and a positive approach. So thank you so much. I appreciate you listening to my little spiel, and reach out if you have any questions.